All right. Um, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, I did a yard sale. And when I started getting the stuff together for the yard sale, I started to decide what I don't want anymore and put it out there. And I knew certain items like shovels and that the Amish would buy. And there were certain things. I put some TV antennas outside. And I knew nobody would look at them. A couple people asked me about them. But after the yard sale was over, as I'm sitting there, I'm deciding this is not coming back in the house with me. That's not going in the house with me. That's going. So after the yard sale, I sold just say one third of the things I took out there, or I got rid of. Some of the stuff I gave away for free, and then another third went in the garbage. Another third went back into the house. Now I started the big push on throwing stuff out. Now, what makes me different than other people is people throw, they have things they were going to get to. I have things I got to, finished, but now they're sitting there. And in some cases, I have a habit of building three of everything or two or three of everything. And when you look at something you've built, you say to yourself, why did I build it? But it was sort of fun at the time and the experimenting, and then it's done and it just sits there. There's no future for the item unless you're able like to sell it on eBay. You're really not going to get a lot of money for it. You're lucky to break even. So a lot of the stuff I take the best pieces off, the expensive pieces like a transformer or a line cord or whatever, and the rest goes in the garbage. You know, and you can see the closets getting neater. Okay, right down on the bottom there, that's all the versions of Windows I happen to have on disk. I just noticed I have a lot of cameras. I keep stuff in really nice shape. This is an HP. It goes for like $5 on eBay. It's going to go in the garbage along with a nice case. This one here, I got this for $20. And this one takes the rechargeable battery, so I'll keep this one. I have two of these, but things are going to start going in the garbage again today. Oh, and then this will probably get scrapped. I got these at a flea market, $1 each, and I never use them. It takes a lot of batteries. It senses the sound. I used it once for something, and that's that. But it's tough love, you know. And what hit me bad was the one day I'm outside and I'm mowing the lawn, and the neighbors start conjugating or hanging out, and it's starting to get really hot. And I said, "Look, guys, I'm having trouble mowing this lawn." I said, I had that reaction to COVID, and I didn't realize it was over 80 degrees. I said, I really got to get this lawn mowed. So they kind of got annoyed. And the next day they kind of told me about it. But I said, look, I got to get this lawn mowed. I don't have someone mowing it for me. And I got it mowed. And I went in the house and I'm having trouble cooling down. So I went on the Weather Channel and I realized it was above 85 degrees. Well, it's time to put the air conditioner in. But it's actually was too soon for the season. But I put it in, I fire it up, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, I hate this. I hate going through the summer where I just sit there in the cool looking at stuff on YouTube. So I decided just keep thinking about what you can throw out. Okay? So as soon as my core temperature got back cool again, I shot into different rooms and started pulling stuff out that's going to go into garbage. Okay? There's a plan. I have clothing I'm never going to wear again. I started putting that in, right? Well, what happens? Checkmate. I used to say this a lot at the hardware store in New Jersey. Checkmate. God says checkmate. The guys that pick the garbage up and the recyclables, uh, they can't handle the heat, and they don't have as many guys because of COVID. People have quit. They can't get people to pick the garbage up or the recyclables up because they make more money not going to work because they weren't paid enough in the first place. But anyway, I won't go into that argument. The guys picking the garbage up here make less than what I made in high school. Okay. Well, I made $1.80. If you figure it out with the chart, it's about $13. And they're not paying the guys that amount of money to pick the garbage up. And now in New Jersey, garbage men got paid really good money. So anyway, garbage has been spotty. So we have this totes and it's got wheels, and it's the one that the garbage truck can pick up automatically, all right, with an arm. But the recyclables has to be done by an actual guy. Well, when people started quitting, they shifted some of the people over. So we've had 2 weeks where they didn't pick the garbage up. Now, right in the middle of me trying to get rid of stuff, I get that thing totally full, and I can barely get down the driveway with it because it's so damn heavy. I'm also cleaning the neighborhood up, and I'm not doing the power walk with my neighbor anymore because that was 2 hours of my day that was wasted. I wait 2 hours for him to get up, then we power walk for about an hour. So it's a total of 3 hours is gone for the day. Then I cook lunch, and then I want a nap. So I wasn't getting anything done, so I made some changes. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to make changes. I'm moving forward. Right now, in between throwing stuff out, I'm building another power supply for a command radio. Another one that goes on the back of the radio. If you follow my videos in the past, you'll see I made one. And now I made one, I need a second one for my fleet of command radios. But it's amazing. You feel better as you start throwing crap out, okay? Now, I always tell you I have that one neighbor, and 3 days before he died, he actually thought he was going to get to all the crap he owned. And then when he died, it all got thrown out. I don't want to be that guy, you know? And I want to tell you, I have some really weird dreams, and I can actually analyze it, what it's from. Now that I'm not building anything, my dreams sort of have components from the past and now. Now, I have a neighbor in the neighborhood, old guy. You know, over the years I talked to him, it never really seemed bad until you realize he's not moving forward at all. He don't want to move forward. With the virus, it was a hoax. His daughter made him stay in the house. He went and got a haircut, and then he went to a birthday party. And between the two things that he came out of the house for, he got COVID. And he refused to go to the doctor, the whole thing. So the daughter had the ambulances come to the house. The 2 ambulances showed up. They made him go to the hospital. And his story now is the food was terrible at the hospital. And I started telling him, I said, you know, one of the symptoms of COVID is food tastes horrible. And he's just staring at me like I'm fucking crazy. That was it for him. Okay. I've gotten tired of his nonsense where he doesn't want to move forward. So I'm being very nice to him, but I'm not going to stand there and talk to him anymore because he's never going to change. Now, we get back to me. And I have a dream. Now, in the dream, like Martin Luther King, but a different kind of dream. I'm in the dream, and I'm, for whatever reason, my mother needs her iron repaired. And we're actually in the future. And she basically says to me, they don't sell irons in the store anymore. You have to order them online. I need the iron fixed. So I open the iron up, and I ohm out, and I'm in there, and I find an open fuse in an iron, which doesn't happen. Well, anyway, and it's actually a fusible link. That's how detailed my stupid dreams are. So I go out in the car, and for whatever reason, I'm not in the car, my car driving. I'm with this kid I grew up with who always made wrong turns, who was always on the wrong side of the highway, going the wrong direction. Well, we finally get to a store that's an appliance store. And it's a composite of an appliance store that I went to as a kid to fix my mother's Proctor Silex iron. My dad had been taping up the line cord on that. My mother finally had enough, and she asked me to go to this store. And it was this giant appliance store. They repaired appliances, and they had all the parts. And I'm talking 40, 50 years ago. Anyway, yeah, 50 years ago. Anyway, hard to believe. I went in there, and they actually had, you undo the bolt on the iron, and the line cord handle part pops off, and you pop the new one on. You can make it a right hand or a left hand. Okay, there's a thing that ratchets. So anyway, I get the part from my mother. Well, so in the dream, I don't need the line cord. I need the fusible link. So we went driving around, and the kid in the dream is making wrong turns, but we end up at this place, and we go in there, and it's going out of business. But there's one guy in there working, and he's complaining, and it's the composite of the guy in the neighborhood that doesn't want to move forward. And he's bitching and moaning to me about how things have changed and all that. And I'm like, yeah, they don't sell irons in stores anymore. You got to order them online. They're real expensive to ship because they're heavy. You know, that's the way the world's going. But I look off to the side, and there's the card, a cardboard card display, and it's got the fusible links. So I pick up the card, and I'm going over to check out. And this guy don't want to check me out. He just wants to keep complaining to me. That's funny stuff, huh? And then I basically woke up. I tried to look for other people in the store to check me out, but he was the last one left. It's funny stuff. Well, anyway, then I woke up, as they say. But yeah, it's been fun here. Every time I come up with an idea of reorganizing and stuff, I get hit with like a dead end, or not a dead end. You know, it goes above 90 something degrees 4 days in a row. Okay, but I vowed not to stop. Okay, I'd sit there and cool down, and I threw out. Oh, I hated to throw it out. My DeskJet printer. I had extra ink and everything, but it wouldn't work with Windows 10. I waited, I think, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. Nobody figured out how to get it to work. Now I know I can make it work with an older computer, put it on a network. I said, you know what? Throw it out. So just for giggles, I looked at how old it was. It's 20-something years old. The same with the Dell monitor. I took a Dell monitor down the stairs from the second floor down there, and that's going out in the garbage. That's the other thing with the garbage, with the COVID and all that. You put the garbage out, are they going to come and take it? So you got to be careful. You don't put too much in there. Well, anyway, it's just been it's just like all I have to do is throw some stuff out. Well, the COVID and the temperature has messed up the garbage guys, you know. And then, but it was so funny. I really refused to throw that DeskJet out because it was working so good. I had just bought ink, but it's over 20-something years old. Now, when I first moved here 12 years ago, I bought it on Craigslist from a guy, and he sold me a monitor and a printer. And he showed up here, and $50. He hung out for a while. He worked for the motor vehicles. He had his kids in the car. They wanted to go to the mall. He had just got retrained at work, and he was short on money, so he was selling whatever he could. And he was happy to get rid of the monitor and the printer, which was 12 years old at the time. It's pretty funny. And I was really happy with that printer all these years, and the monitor. And then finally I bought a different monitor. But it's amazing the stuff you hang on to. You know, like I remember this camera. This camera was $300 and something. It's an HP, you know, to do my website. Look at it. I babied this thing. I never, look at it. It's mint condition. And I have to I'm throwing it out. And it's like 6 megapixels, 3 megapixels, right? And then I bought the other one. Oh my God. Yeah. And I told you about that one neighbor of mine. He had everything he ever owned from when he was a kid. And he would try to reorganize it. As soon as he would touch anything of it, you could see the memories floating from it. And his memory wasn't that good, but by touching the unit, he had some memories. And it was amazing. And one time his wife sent him out to the garage to clean the garage. And what he would do is he would clean the garage by putting stuff inside a car that was in there, an old car. And then when he would try to work on the old car, he had to take all the stuff out. It was after a while, it was like watching an episode of Green Acres. And I just happened to stop by there one day. And he tipped over a big pickle barrel, and he pulled out a bunch of tire chains, steel tire chains for a car. And nobody was using chains anymore. And he's talking about them. And then I realized, I said, they're all broken. He goes, when he would drive along, if a chain fell off a car, he'd stop the car and get it and put it in his car and bring it home. And that's what he had. He had a full pickle barrel of random tire chains that weren't any good. And he was laying them out, and he's talking to me. He always say, I have a guy that could fix these. He always had a guy, but it never happened. But anyway, and I'm looking at that, and these are things that are in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to be like this. And that's why you wonder why I do throw things out. They have no use. And I have a few keepsakes. You know, I have my spinning drum fax machine. I have my first proto board unit that I built, solderless breadboard unit with a power supply built underneath. I have my EEPROM programmer, which is manual, you know, but at some point you got to start throwing stuff out. And don't fall for that where you throw something out and then 2 weeks later you need it. That's a mental thing your brain does to you. Throw it out or sell it, and if you need it, just buy it again or borrow it from somebody. Don't fall for that. Well, if I throw this stuff out, I'm going to then need it. Well, if you keep thinking like that, you're never going to get ahead, you know. But I get these weird dreams, and I know exactly what it is. And after when COVID hit, I started realizing there's two sides. You know, people that believed it was real, the people that didn't believe it was real, it was a hoax, and all the hoax people got it in my neighborhood. And then they started telling me how bad it was, but they all got their shots before me. Now I got my shots, and this coming Tuesday, I'll be 2 weeks after I got my second shot, so I'll be able to do things. And I'm still wearing my mask. If I go on the bus, I'm gonna have my mask on, because I found by wearing the mask, I haven't been getting head colds. Okay, people can't pass them on to me, so it's had its benefits. All right, let me get back to throwing stuff out. But you got a picture. You have to picture me filling a garbage pail up to the top and coming down a steep driveway with it and putting it out there and praying that they come and get it. Praying that the girl's arm that comes out of the truck that can actually lift it, so she don't actually come out and look what's in it. You gotta make sure you don't overfill it, okay? Because if they can't lift it, they'll come out and look to see what's in it. And some of the stuff I throw out is quite heavy, but it's sad to see some of this stuff go. But you're talking, when did I buy this camera? This camera, my website, 2000. So this camera is over 21 years old, and it's in mint condition. And I kept the batteries out of it so they wouldn't leak. It's sad. Now, with my luck, you say you throw it out, and then you find an article where someone takes one of those cameras and makes something out of it, you know. And but I have other cameras, you know. That's the sad part. When you start keeping stuff, it's like you have a backup of a backup of a backup. And then in my case, I know where everything is. But some people I know, I can't find it. I can't find it. Well, what good was keeping it if you can't find it? And then there are people that they can't remember what they threw out, whether they still have it or they don't have it. I don't have that problem. Everything has a certain place. And if I go there and it's not there, I go ballistic. I go crazy. Okay? But my mind is still at the point where I'm still pretty sure what I did throw out. Now, I went looking when I was organizing my Z80, what was it called? ZX81 Sinclair computer. I have a few of those, and they're all in a box. And I noticed my 16K RAM that I bought. I didn't see that, so I must have chucked that at some point, because I have ones that I made that go on the back. Mine actually will save the program. It's got a thing I built into it, and someone helped me with the software. But I've done so many projects and finished them. Okay, now my reward is to actually look at it, say goodbye to it, and throw it out, and maybe take a few pieces off of it. But I'm not going to hoard like that neighbor of mine, man. That was sad. Took several dumpsters and garbage night twice a week for about 2 years to throw all his junk out. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to leave this to somebody else. I think that's it. All right, that's it.